Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really high-stakes diplomatic reset between two of the world's biggest powers. After years of an icy freeze, India and China are talking again. And honestly, the fallout could reshape the entire global power structure.
Okay, so let's get right into it. After 5 years of military tension and pretty much radio silence, why is this happening now? You have China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi landing in India. And trust me, this is way more than just a routine meeting. It's a huge potential turning point. And there's a good reason it's all going down right now. And to really get why this is so significant, you gotta look at the timeline. This reset didn't come out of nowhere. It's following a deep 5-year diplomatic freeze that was kicked off by that deadly border clash back in 2020 in the Galwan Valley. After that, everything just stopped. Trade and travel, the whole shebang. The first real hint of a thaw only came last October, which leads us directly to this very carefully planned meeting we're seeing today.
So what are they actually talking about behind closed doors? Let's move past the handshakes and the photo ops and dig into what's really on the table.
First up, and this is the big one, it's all about security. Wang Yi is meeting with India's National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, and they have one primary goal: to dial down the military tension along that disputed border. The line of actual control. They're talking about real steps like confidence-building measures and maybe even pulling some troops back. And let's be super clear, if they can't make progress here, nothing else really matters. But the agenda goes way beyond just the military stuff. The second track is all about economics and diplomacy. We're talking about restoring direct flights, reopening border trade, and getting key supplies of things like rare earths and fertilizers flowing again. This is about reconnecting their massive economies, and it's also laying the groundwork for bigger events, like Prime Minister Modi's upcoming visit to China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO, summit.
But this isn't just a friendly chat. Nope. Both India and China are coming to the table with very different and often conflicting strategic goals. And understanding what each side really wants, well, that's the key to this entire situation. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. You can see the core dynamic right here. India is looking for some breathing room, right? They want to ease that border pressure, rebalance the economic relationship, and get back what they call strategic autonomy, which is basically the freedom to have good relations with all the major powers without being forced to pick a side. China's goal? It's different. They want to manage the conflict, but without giving up too much, all while reestablishing themselves as the dominant power in South Asia.
But India's strategy isn't being made in a bubble. There's another major power that's influencing these talks, one that isn't even in the room. And their influence kind of starts with this number, 50%. That's a steep tariff the United States just put on some of India's key exports. So here's the crucial point. As trade friction with the U.S. starts to grow and Washington's policies feel a little unpredictable, suddenly talking to China becomes a very, very strategic option for New Delhi. It's a way for India to relieve some of that pressure and maintain its independence on the world stage. It's all about leverage.
And this brings us to the global picture, because this meeting isn't just a regional issue. Oh no. It's sending ripples all across the globe, and you can bet other world powers are watching very, very closely, because the outcome could totally shift alliances.
For the United States, this warming of ties could be seen as a bit of a red flag. Washington has been courting India as a key partner in its whole Asia strategy. So if India moves even a little bit closer to China, it signals a less predictable and maybe less pliable partner, forcing the U.S. to maybe rethink its whole approach.
And it's not just the U.S. What about Russia? For them, seeing two fellow members of the SCO getting together like this is a really big deal. With both leaders heading to the SCO summit in China, it's a clear signal that Russia might also need to adjust its position in this shifting Asian landscape.
So, what's the ultimate endgame here? This whole diplomatic reset points toward a pretty fundamental shift in the future of power in Asia. It could even signal the return of a classic foreign policy strategy.
And that strategy is what's called a multipolar balance.
The idea is that India could go back to this classic posture where it actively engages with competing powers, in this case the US and China, not to pick a side, but to play both sides to maximize its own freedom and strategic space.
And all of that leaves us with the one huge question hanging over this entire reset. Both sides seem ready to stabilize things just enough to cooperate on some level. But can these two great rivals actually maintain this super delicate new balance, even while their fundamental competition continues to simmer just beneath the surface? Well, that's the big question, isn't it?